Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and this is the next build that I wanted to put on my channel, and this is the Mohgwyn Spear buffed up build. Now, this is a really great weapon, so I figured what would happen if I turned around and buffed it to extreme measures. There are certain weapons in the game that just inherently do better with buffs, and I had a feeling that this would be one of them, and it absolutely was. This thing is really powerful and can be made even more powerful. So we're using different buffs. I'm going to show you the buffs and everything that we use in a second. We have the Mushroom Crown and the Black Dumpling and the Kindred of Rots for the poison and the Crazy proc before the poison. As you can tell, we're going to run up here and we're going to do massive damage. I do get hit by him. I get hit a few times in this video. The weapon art is very stationary. That's the only downside to it. You're going to be standing there without the ability to really do much. The first two you can easily roll out of, but when you go into the last long animation, rolling out of it actually becomes difficult. So yes, it has a long animation where you're just standing there, and that does make things a little bit difficult. So as you can tell, we can walk up right here again to the same thing for Commander Niall, and yeah, we get hit the same exact way, crazy enough, and he goes down in just one full weapon art with the buffs. It's really fantastic. So we're using Mohgwyn Sacred Spear plus 10, the Giant Seal, the Mushroom Crown and the Black Dumpling, the Fire Charm, the Lord of Blood's Exultation for the bleed boost, Kindred of Rot's Exultation, and the Shard of Alexander, as well as the Fire Tear, Fetid pots, and Boluses, and that's to give us all the buffs and everything that we need. And these are my stats at 150. You can check them out. I'm heavily favored in Arc because Arc deals, I believe, the fire damage along with obviously bleed as well, and that's what we're going for mainly. So strength doesn't have to actually be that high unless you plan on hitting enemies instead of really using the weapon art. But the weapon art is honestly what shines here with Mohgwyn Spear. It is really a fantastic weapon art that does a ton of damage. So we're also using Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength for the extra boost as well, and then we're crazy procking with the Black Dumpling on Hellish Bravery, so that's why my faith is at 33. I'm going to link everything you need in the description below, all the items and everything and all the buffs and whatnot. As you can tell, again, I was hit because it's just tough because it's stationary. But yeah, Radagon went down like butter. This is Journey 5, by the way, and I mean, he literally melted. So it works really well on big targets too because it has such a large AoE, and this dragon does kind of mess with me a little bit at the end here by doing his normal rot thing, but as you can tell, we're doing massive damage, and its AoE is almost guaranteed to hit anything big because it really has a longer range than what it actually looks like. It looks like it has a shorter range than it does. Its range is quite long, and it's really good. Again, this is one of my favorite weapons in Elden Ring. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And the weapon art, you know, while being stationary, is incredibly powerful. This does work on Melania, by the way. I didn't do this for the purpose of this video. I didn't go out to Haligtree on this run. But yeah, it works on her. You're just better off using summons if you use this for her because you're stationary, because she's likely to hit you while you're standing still. That's the only problem with it. As far as regular enemies, as you can tell here, I just went around to Gatefront just to mess with them. And yeah, it just does ridiculous amounts of damage. This was barely even buffed, and it's just so dominant. If you haven't used Mohgwyn Spear, you definitely need to check this out because it's one of the best weapons in Elden Ring for PvE. It's absolutely fantastic. I even beat Elden Beast with it, although he is immune to everything, so it was a lot of running around. If you're not sub, definitely sub. There's a whole bunch more great builds on the way, and I'll catch you there.